Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa, Simon's living room, and I hope I'm not sounding like a crackling robotic voice. If there's anybody there watching at all in your isolation, do please tell me if I'm coming across like a robot. I've fiddled about with the microphone. It seems to be working okay in my headphones, in my head. It's working okay. But welcome to the show. And if you're there in Europe, in Asia, in America, wherever in the world you are, and in the current state of lockdown, here it's a sunny day, and normally it would be quite busy outside. But from this morning, I've discovered that it's pretty dead on the streets out here. Not a lot of cars about. The government has decided that all shops and businesses must close at the weekend, and they're all open again during the week. So that's good for me. I can go back to work. But it does mean a very quiet weekend. I don't know what it's like with you over there, wherever you are. But it's rather odd going out and on a Saturday morning and the roads being empty. So anyway, as you can see, I have no guest. I did contact my guest, managed to get in touch with my guest last night, and she said that it'd probably be April this time before she can join because of all the stuff she's got to do. Plus, her husband is in the Navy, and the military there is shutting down. Her kids, the schools obviously there in Japan have shut down, so her kids are at home. And her husband is presumably not able to sort of get off base or do anything or whatever. So yes, difficult situation. So I understand, and that's why she's not becoming a guest this week. But next week, hopefully, the shamisen players will be with me from Berlin. I shall have to contact them and find out if they can all convene together in one place and be on the show. I should think so. And if you saw the advert, you will notice that my father is in hospital at the moment, which is why I was wondering whether I would actually do the show. But he is on the mend. Apparently, he went in with pains in his chest, and they've discovered that is an infection around the skin around the heart. So it wasn't a heart attack or anything like that, but still painful and worrying. And on top of that, they discovered he had pneumonia. I think possibly the infection around the skin of the heart was something connected to that. I don't know, but he's on antibiotics and painkillers, and apart from anything else, he's just bored because he's kept in isolation because of obviously corona worries and his health and so on. Hey, Dean. You're sitting at home guarding your toilet paper. Very good. Sort of. It doesn't bother my dad because the stuff they're giving him to kill the pain makes him constipated. And my mother told me last night that once he's been cleared to go, which is in a few days from hospital, and once he's well enough to go back, they're going to give him something for the constipation. So he's just going to end up going home and spending all day on the toilet. So hopefully my mum's got some toilet paper stocked up. But I mean, it's you're safe if you've got toilet paper. You're safe. You know, you can wrap it around your face and be all right. Yeah, so that was a relief. I mean, he's still got to have the test come back from they obviously tested for corona on him. Just to be on the safe side, but all being well, he can go back he can go back home this coming week. They were supposed to. My parents were supposed to arrive here this week and spend the week. They usually come at this time of the year and near the kids' birthdays and so on. I say kids, I just went this morning with my youngest son to apply for a provisional driving license. So my kid is not a kid anymore. He's, yeah, thanks, Dean. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, so my oldest son, he can already drive, and my youngest son will be starting to learn. And I am the designated instructor, as it were. I mean, I'll be teaching him what I know, and hopefully that won't be adverse to his chances of getting his license. But then he's got his eyes set on a Peugeot 205 Rally version. So God knows what that's going to be like. Will get us to England quicker if he takes us in his car when he gets one. Hey, Dibble, a strange man sent you. Yes, it's this strange man. I'm not in my. Well, I am sort of here in my Fukui living room, but I've got the Tokyo snow going on in the background on a GIF. Because I was chatting with, I was at Radri's live stream about an hour ago because I'm a moderator. And I asked if it was still snowing in Tokyo, and he said yes. So it's in honor of that. You can tell it's Japan. It's got a sort of a temple-y thing and a sort of Thunderbirds-like modern building in the background. Yes. So what's it like in London, Dibble? I mean, it's glorious sunshine and not a lot of activity outside. Alas, I can still hear cars going past. But yes, so that doesn't actually seem to be. I mean, Sandy, my voice actress friend, Australian who lives in Japan, she's constantly on Facebook saying sort of the Japanese are just not, they're doing anything. The government is sort of dragging its feet. And I was chatting with one of my friends from Nihonbashi, and she just goes out around the town in the evening, and there doesn't appear to be any indication that people are panicking or wearing masks or it's just life as normal. It's raining. It's raining in London. It's glorious sunshine here. What a difference an English channel can make. So yes, so Tokyo seems to be okay. And other friends, my friends in Yamaguchi, are looking at the map of Japan and where the spread of the virus is. It just seems to be focused in certain areas, and other areas are totally free of it. It's possibly sort of, maybe in other areas, because it's the west of Japan. The Yamaguchi is a bit out in the sticks, so if it was not raining, I would not be here. Oh, I must thank the weather gods for an audience. Thanks, Dibble. It's rather not unusual. It said fruity, this wine. But, oh, careful what I do. Careful with my mouse. So what have you been up to? I mean, how's it going with the logo, Dean? For all those who watch after the event, Dean is a former live stream colleague who was in my previous show, and he's now currently set up his own business and is currently designing a logo for it. So ideas on a postcard, please. Send them to Australia. You're rebuilding your sun deck. Are you going to cork your deck? Needs corking. The deck needs corking. There we are. A sun deck, and it's raining. You're going to rebuild your sun deck in the rain. I'm using GIMP. You're trying to use GIMP. I use GIMP. I use GIMP to make my thumbnail. Sounds rude. Oh, I've trapped my mouse wire. So I'm sounding loud and clear. Is that true? Is it? I mean, because last week was a bit of a. I had to do what Robert said and pull the. Well, I didn't do what Robert said. Robert said to pull out the USB connection and plug it back in again, and I did that and ended up in total silence and having to do a Marcel Marceau version of the show until I restarted it. But hopefully I am now coming across loud and clear, and I've got a duvet and a cloth to absorb sound reflections. So I should be sounding like I'm in a studio-ish. I'm clear. That's good. Yes, and I've turned my gain up. I can see my lights flashing, and I'm peaking at -6 dB. Oh, you're not trying to rebuild in the rain. That's why you're here. That's jolly good. Good. Yes, electric power tools in the rain, not a good idea. I once there were a couple of sort of derelict houses that were property of my work. They've since been demolished, and they've built 2 new houses there. But during the sort of the pre-demolition phase, we were stripping them out of anything remotely useful, which included the ironwork, like the central heating. And of course, I went in and there was still electricity in the houses, so I went in with an angle grinder, a small angle grinder with a metal cutting blade on it, and started cheerily cutting through all the old central heating pipes, which were still full of water, and I was using an angle grinder plugged into the mains. So you can imagine what happened. So yes, don't mix water and electricity, folks. Yes, I mean, I must possibly think of other things to do for earning a living, because I was spent the last hour of Friday evening or Friday at work mopping up water and mud from these 2 new buildings which had got in due to heavy rain. Not pleasant. Clever. Yes, it wasn't clever. It went bang, and all the lights went out in the office. And I sort of felt a slight tingly sensation. Oh dear. Yes, be careful, Dean and Dibble. Don't mix water and electricity in your jobs. Yes, I've just ruined my career chances. But anyway, yes, where were we? There's next week will be hopefully the shamisen players, and the week after that, the 28th, what I usually do, what I've done a couple of times before, is gone to the Japanese garden opening ceremony, but don't know what the situation will be. The Japanese garden here in Belgium, it opens, and I think they have a spring festival and all that. I think I made a video of it, or did a live stream actually. But this year, obviously, current situation, museums, event places, people where more than 2 people are in close proximity to one another is all been shut down. Yes, I should actually have brought some sterilizing fluid when I'd got money out of the bank machine this morning and cleaned the keys or something, or washed my fingers. I don't know. I'm faulty equipment, the user, yes. Hello. It's Mr. Gumby Electrical Services here. Hello. Hey, Ninjaroo. G'day. Dean, it's Ninjaroo. You can exchange sort of stories about toilet rolls and drop bears and things. Oh no! I see. I've dropped from 4 viewers to 3. Dean could have gone off and gimped. But yeah, so the end of the month could be another of these kind of shows. Because I might try and do the old-fashioned live stream from my phone using the app where I can't see what your responses are, kind of live stream. But just for the bit of variety. You're still there, okay? Somebody dropped in again. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Je m'appelle Simon. And then April will arrive. And April is the time that the guests have said they will appear. I'm expecting Jess, who you know, Dean, who was your replacement. I'm expecting Bernie, who you know, Dean, who she will be hopefully back from Malaysia. That'll be middle of April. And at the beginning of April, second week of April, I've got a guy called Andrew, who is a director at the Yokohama Theatre Group in Kawasaki. You're still in chat, but you've not been here for years. It feels like that. Years, I suppose. I mean, one Simon NoChaNoMa show rolls into the next one, and you lose track of time. It's all much of a muchness, really, isn't it? Ellen, hi, Ellen. Ellen, while you're here, due to the virus, it's all a bit up in the air next week, isn't it? Whether, I mean, possibly I could get on a train to Delft, if that's still allowed, but Delft might be shut. So we could be wandering around shut shops. So I shall contact you on Instagram instant messaging, and we shall try and figure out what's going to happen. I mean, it would be nice to go there if it's possible. But I mean, if the food places that I'd worked out where we were going to eat are shut, we could always make sandwiches and wander around closed Delft together, I suppose. Hi, Tomo. What time is it? It's 20:48 in Japan, and so it's nearly Tomo's bath time. We know this. You know this. Everybody who watches this show knows this. How have you been? What's it like in Shikoku at the moment? It's not snowing there as well, is it? Yes. So yes, and then I think did I have anybody else lined up as a guest? I don't remember. I'm getting old, you know. White Day. Yes, nobody got me any effing chocolates, did they? No. Oh no, I was supposed to give chocolates to. Yes. Well, I sent my. Well, I sent a Valentine's card to Yamaguchi, but it's still waiting for a response, really. Did you buy some chocolates, or did you get chocolates, Tomo? Social distancing, yes. So yes, it's possible that we will have to sort of wait for that, Ellen. Unfortunately, fingers crossed it'll clear up. No coronavirus. Yeah, Shikoku and Hiroshima Prefecture and all of and Yamaguchi and Tottori and all those areas sort of up and round near your end of the country seem fairly clear. Just like don't hang out in Tokyo or Hokkaido. Here, it's Spain's pretty bad. Catalonia is on like total self quarantine. France is sort of closing down. Germany's closing down. England is or Britain is not quite sure what it's supposed to be doing, but that's no surprise. Yeah, there's KLM. I think it was KLM. Like the Dutch airline, laying off thousands of employees just because nobody's going anywhere and they can't afford to keep them on. Yes, I mean what you said, Dibble. I mean, 2,000, like approximately 2,000 cases out of 327 million Americans. Ooh, okay. Yes, don't panic. Mr. Donut. I'm trying to remember the last time I ever had a donut. It's quite a long time ago. I often say, often when we drive to my parents in England, and at the sort of the motorway service stations, I'm quite tempted to get a donut, but I always end up getting caramel shortbread instead, which is rather delicious. Or a big bar of Cadbury's fruit and nut. Cupcake and cupcake and cookies. Greg's Bakers. I think there's a Greg's Bakers in my hometown. Mostly I get my bread from the supermarket. It was only when I moved to Belgium that it seemed to be sort of like a social custom that people went to bakers. Even if the baker was just 200 yards down the road, they would get in their car and drive to the baker's. Yes, there's very few places that at the moment that you can actually go to. I'm half expecting in the next couple of weeks public transport to sort of lock down. So I should be going everywhere in my car, which I do anyway, mostly anyway. No big change there. Not to the bakers. And the other day, my friend from Nihimbashi was I said, "Oh, it's raining. I'm not sure whether I should go to the library, or I'm going to go to the library on my bicycle." And she said, "Go in the car." So I showed her out the window with a photo that how far it was to the library, which is only like a kilometer. I said, "No, I can't really do that." The famous typical food in Belgium. Paling in het groen, which is eels in a sort of green jelly sauce. It's disgusting. Or what else? Stoofvlees met frietjes. That's basically beef stew with French fries. Or stump. Stump is like mashed potato and cabbage mixed together with minced beef in it. And of course, you've got Belgian chocolate, Belgian beer, just for dessert and to wash down the stump. I had I made friends with somebody on Hello Talk, a Japanese woman from I forgot where. Oh dear. And she was doing something with old people's housing, and was doing it at a conference in Brussels. So we said we'd meet up. So we went to small, typical Belgian restaurant in Brussels. And we had typical Belgian food. It was rather nice. Yes, Ellen, I was just explaining earlier that my father was taken to hospital in England last Wednesday, with pain in his chest, and it turned out to be they didn't know what it was. They couldn't find any evidence of heart attack or anything like that. But then they discovered that he's got an infection in the tissues around the surface of his heart, which was causing the pain and inflammation. And he'd also got pneumonia. So he's been on antibiotics and painkillers, and he's recovering. But obviously, they couldn't come for that reason. So no, they're not coming this week. So they sent a photograph of the birthday cake they'd made for my son, my youngest son. Sent it via my sister, who messaged my youngest son with it. From Japan, the eels, unagi. No, it's European eels. It's the European eels, not the South African. Spanish flu in 1918. But they're all dead now, so it doesn't count. It's the new flu that counts. I used to use HelloTalk. Tomo. When I was in Japan last time, which was 2018, I was in Kyoto, and I always stay in the same hostel in Higashiyama, and I usually keep myself to myself and just sort of greet everybody in the morning and eat my breakfast, then go off into Kyoto. But about the second day there was a Japanese woman actually staying in the hostel, and we got talking, and ended up going out for a meal, which was rather nice. And she was on HelloTalk and told me that, all about HelloTalk. So I sort of connected with her on HelloTalk. Never spoke to her again on HelloTalk. But I ended up being on HelloTalk, and my profile got hit various times. And one of the people that hit on it was this lady, middle-aged lady from I still can't remember where. And yes, Ellen, he's getting better. I spoke to my mother and my sister yesterday evening, and my sister, who is a paramedic, she said he's on the mend. So he's hopefully middle of next week he'll be back home, and out of danger. But yes, I'm not really on. I think I deleted HelloTalk. I think HelloTalk was on my old phone, and then when my old phone died, I didn't bother to put it back on. I would start a conversation with somebody on HelloTalk, and then probably because of I don't know my magnetic personality, they stopped communicating with me after a couple of times. Yes, I know you are, Tomo. Yes, based on the tweets that I read of yours, I've got a cold sore. I think it's recovering. Oops, my pop filter. Right, it's time for another. I don't know what you've got. I've got the wine. Toilet rolls. Who cares? Masks. Who cares? Wine. That's what you need. Kills all known germs. Dead. My microphone should have picked that up. You should all be now watering at the mouth. Are you still there, Dibble, or has it stopped raining? If it stopped raining, he's gone outside to repair his sun deck. You stepped away. What did you miss, Dean? Oh, you you missed Tales of Me in Kyoto and Hello Talk. Excuse me. Yeah, so I went to in Belgium now. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but if you want to teach your siblings to drive, up until about a year ago, you were free to do that if you had a license. Obviously, if you were qualified, if you had a driving license, you could just go and say, "I'm going to teach my son or daughter to drive," or at least show them the ropes, and then they can take some lessons afterwards. But the government decided that it was safer and also a way of earning money by saying, "Oh no, there's parents who wish to who teach their children now have to take a 3-hour course. It will cost them €20, and then you'll have a piece of paper that's valid for 10 years, and then they can teach their children to drive." So I went to this course. I think middle of the week last week, and this is at the height of Corona panic, and it was a small room filled with about 20 people, and the lady behind me was coughing all the time, so I got quite paranoid. I'm drinking Domestos, kills all known germs, dead. Well, it doesn't taste like Domestos. Not that I know what Domestos tastes like, but it's rather nice. So then I got a little sort of warm, and I sort of an itch around my lip. And I thought, oh no, that woman coughing has given me something. But it's just me in the usual state of deterioration. Silent moment there. We have a moment's silence while I try to think of something to say. Oh dear. Jump in the car and try not to panic. In Australia, my son said he noticed that that there were slightly less toilet rolls on the shelves here. I haven't really. I should discover this tomorrow when I go to buy the pizzas for lunch. Whether there's any toilet roll. I'm all right for toilet rolls. Well, you just have to be inventive. You don't have to bother with toilet roll. And the hand sanitizer at my work would be rather pointless. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I was grubbing around in mud on a newly built house floor, cleaning it up. Don't think the virus would survive on the floor of that house. Is it? I mean, like I was saying before, it's quite quiet here for a Saturday. Well, no business is open. Is it a bit like that where you are, Ellen, over in Holland? I haven't really been checking the news. I imagine London Dibble is still busy. Don't eat out for lunch. Well, my friend in Nihonbashi has had to work from home for a couple of weeks now. Although she said that she did go in like Wednesday and Thursday. She went into work, but she says it's a whole new world has opened up for her now that all this home working has occurred, and that she can the money that she saves on public transport and going into work, and the time that she saves, she spends it all going out at night. No trips, no parties. Nobody seems to be taking much notice of it, though, according, based on what my friend was telling me. I should really go to the supermarket and see what's what. Well, I don't need much. I need cereal and and something for dinner. I always skip lunch on Saturday, so I have a liquid lunch on Saturday. Although I did scarf down a couple of sandwiches just to sort of line my stomach. Yes, I sometimes go to the Albert Heijn. You know that, don't you, Ellen? The Albert Heijn. They have one here in my town. My son doesn't rate it much. Saturday, no, pizza's the Sunday lunch. Always Sunday lunch, always Dr. Utker frozen pizza. Like clockwork. Years and years and years. Every Saturday. No, sorry, it's every Sunday. It would be strange to have pizza on a Saturday. Dean Bennett, yes, the sort of like the new warrior. Oh, Robert. There you are. You get your. That's what you want. You want that hazard warning, health hazard warning logo. Sumo cleaning service. I was thinking actually, what you could do. Sumo cleaning services. Throwing ritual salt around, sort of, or a sumo character, or a fundoshi so tight your balls disappear. I'm not quite sure what logo. You can eat pizza whenever. Oh no. I'd feel guilty if I ate pizza midweek. I'd be like, this doesn't feel right. Have you tried that chocolate pizza? It looks dubious. I think the best pizza I had was in where was it? I've forgotten the name. I have to look on Google Maps. Hang on, maps. All right, Italy. I had it in Italy. I just can't remember the name of the town or the city. Italy. Bologna? No, it wasn't Bologna. Reggio Emilia? It wasn't Reggio Emilia. Where is it? Oh. But it had a sort of amphitheatre on it, and it wasn't Rome. What do you call it? Anyway, it was in this Italian city at a proper pizza place, one of those thin crust pizzas. Very nice. But the friends that I was with were more excited. This was like over 25 years ago. And at that time, McDonald's had only just started to make inroads into Europe and certainly into Italy. So they were all really excited and wanted to go to McDonald's rather than have like traditional pizza. Florence. Well, I've been to Florence. Yes, it wasn't there. It was where was it? Begins with R. I think. I can't know. It's a yes. Go through your list of Italian cities, sort of central Italy, that have amphitheaters. Chicago pizza. I don't know that one. Thick. No, I don't like thick pizza. The chewy crust. No. It's. Hang on. I'm just going to go back to my living room. It's snowed enough now. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, using the StreamYard app, it saves on my CPU, but it gives me a green line all around my. I can't get rid of the green line, so you just have to make do with me with a green line around me. And if I did wear my green jacket, but then I disappeared. Whether it's this wine or whether I don't know, but I'm starting to get a sore throat. I think it's the wine. Hi, Rodri. Have I ever tried a Garlic Joe's pizza? No. Can you give me more details? Is that a common pizza brand? Can I expect to find that in still in stock or in supermarkets in Europe? There is no green line. Elucidate, Dibble. The first part of the sentence I understood. What's the green line part mean? I've had 2 glasses of wine, so I may not be with it. I have to check in with Mandy and find out what's going on in New York. She works for Oprah Winfrey's, one of Oprah Winfrey's dancers who has a studio, and some students, overseas students from South America who'd hired the studio for some ballet lessons, all went down sick with flu-like symptoms, but it all turned out to be the regular flu. But I haven't really checked in with Mandy to find out what's happening in New York. Yokohama. I was in Yokohama. I had a freshness burger in Yokohama, but not a Garlic Joe's pizza. Everything is made of garlic in that place. I used to love garlic, and have a lot of it in food, and occasionally at work, when customers come, because it's being Belgium and they're continental, you get wafts of garlic. Not as bad as the French, but StreamYard, you said you see a green line with pizza. Hang on. Wait a minute. No, I'm still not with it. Oh, green line. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Around, you can see the green line. I can see it due to their green screen effect. Korean pizza. I prefer European pizzas to Japanese pizzas. Looking at the size of Japanese pizzas, I would feel rather cheated. Are they quite? If you get a medium pizza, then at Garlic Joe's, mayo and shrimp. That sounds quite nice. Nothing to do with the bloody pizza. Okay. This is my Audio Technica AT 2020 instead of the Blue Snowball. This is a condenser microphone, and I had to buy the old pop filter and shock mount and thingy, but it does its job rather nicely. Luckily, Robert, I unplugged it and plugged it in again before the show. Yes, the USB bus on the computer and the interface do not get on very well on first attempt. So I always have to try fiddle about. Last week I sounded like a robot and had to sort of switch the show off and start again. You could talk about pizza for an entire podcast. Well, I've learned things about dating in Japan from Radri's podcast. I forgot to write them down, but I have learned things, and that I know that if a Japanese lady asks you, "Do you want to go for a break?" that means she wants to go with you to a love hotel. Not that I've ever got that far in a conversation with a Japanese lady. It's all been very polite. Silver Sea! Hey, Ellen, it's Silver Sea. made it for the first time. Hooray! Unfortunately, due to the virus, Sonichi is probably not going to come to Amsterdam again this month. So we probably won't meet up again. Multiple connections to the computer with the ground not being stable. Yeah, because what I did before the show, I just used my webcam and recorded myself for a few seconds, just because I'd noticed yesterday evening when I was making the advert that when I tried that with the camera to get some shots, it was all very crackly, the audio. And so I did what you suggested, and pulled the USB out and put it back in again, and it worked fine. So I did that before the show. Tokinigi, yes. I let his comment through. F word and all. He should thank me for being such a moderate moderator. Yes, it took him 7 years to discover that fact. That going for a break meant going to a love hotel. That was quite funny. I also thought it was quite funny that that Kiki didn't remember your proposal. Right, you do that before every broadcast. Well, I shall be doing that now before every broadcast. Yes, it's all right having all this equipment that makes you sound like a radio host. Just got to work properly, that's all. But yes, I got this also. Now I've learned now that I should turn my gain up until the yellow light goes on. Technically speaking, because if you don't do that, it doesn't record your voice sufficiently. And unfortunately, yeah, I shall show you my voice acting attempt recording setup here, which is like a couple of old pillows in a cupboard and a blanket, which, according to all the videos I've seen, is what you're supposed to do if you can't afford a £4,000 whisper room. I just need to believe in myself. Or Robert. Oh, hang on. What have I done? I've maximized when I shouldn't have maximized. There we go. I'm trying to read comments here. It's a common occurrence using a USB audio interface into a PC. Yes, it doesn't occur on professional setups, but for us podcasters, not that I ever transfer any of this to a podcast. I mean, it's all visual, really. Oh dear. Yeah, I tried all visuals last week, and that seemed to bugger everything up. So that's why there was no music or like intro clip on today's show, because setting all that up taxes my computer too much. Make sure there's no dust. Oh dear, I shall have to go and get the vacuum cleaner. I can't remember the last time I vacuumed the computer. Yes, can you hear the hum? My fan is behaving rather well at the moment. Sometimes it sort of makes terrible noise, like the sort of the bearings have gone on it or something, and so I have to bang on the computer to make it settle back. I think that's a sign that there's something wrong. Would I ever stream on Twitch? Well, I have a Twitch account because I wanted to watch Jenny Silver stream Final Fantasy 15, and So I as you do when you want to do that, you set up a Twitch account. And Jonesing for Japan is on Twitch all the time. He's no longer on YouTube, and so I was tempted to sort of hook up with that. But then the demographics don't pan out really for me. I don't actually think I would have the level of appeal to Twitch demographics for me to be asked to do it. You don't hear any humming. No, it's all finely tuned. I can hear humming if I lean over and listen to my computer, which is just down to on the floor next to me here. But luckily, this microphone only picks up around here, not here, and not down there. And I've got my duvet on the cupboard here to stop sound bouncing off the cupboard and the walls, and I've got a blanket above me here to stop the sound bouncing off the ceiling, and a carpet underneath me. So it should sound relatively good. Hi, Perk. Jenny's stream. Well, you didn't actually see Jenny, or maybe just in a little sort of window in the corner. Well, no, you didn't actually. She didn't have a webcam on. It was just the screen grab of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, and she was doing a fishing subquest. So it was a bit like watching paint dry. YouTube is a vacuum. Yeah, the YouTube is so immense and so diverse that you can get kind of lost in there. Twitch is more games oriented, and that's the thing with Twitch. I found it too games oriented, and too. I mean, what Jonesing in Japan does, it's very bizarre. Something about cook wives, something like that live stream, and lots of like 20-somethings doing weird shit. So not really sort of. Yeah, if you want to get into that, I suppose you get a lot of Twitch followers. Whether it would raise your profile and bring you funds to make your films, I'm not sure. Buzzing and rattling because the side panels are loose. They don't have to be. I see. Okay. I did watch once something long years ago about people who actually took in their computers and their desktops, and you can do all kinds of stuff to make them actually virtually silent by replacing the fans and putting in soundproofing and all sorts of things. But I mean, that's a bit over the top. So after this, my youngest son said he would contact me after this. Well, I shall have to contact him. Usually I go and pick him up, and that provides me with an afternoon of or a late afternoon of gaming, because then it's my turn to go on the PS4. But he may be going to meet up with a friend because it was his birthday yesterday. So whether he's going to, if he does that, I won't have to go and pick him up, and I won't have any gaming this afternoon. But I do have a birthday card from my friend in Nihonbashi that I'm working on, so I'll get on with that. I could be a Twitcher. Do you think I should give it a go? I'll just like dust off my Twitch thing and see what happens. I mean, could I do it simultaneously with this without having to faff about doing it at a separate time and everything? I wonder. I mean, he said lazily, would it work like that? Yeah, Perk, I was just saying earlier, my dad's on the mend. Wasn't a heart attack or anything like that, but it was an infection of the skin around the heart. Apparently, the pericardium was infected and inflamed, so that every time the heart beat, the skin around the heart stretched, obviously, as it beats, and caused rather intense pain. So he's on antibiotics to knock that on the head, and antibiotics to knock the pneumonia on the head that also sort of possibly caused the infection of the pericardium. And he's on painkillers to get rid of the pain. So now he's getting better and not in pain and totally bored because he's in isolation, and he has his eyes are not so good, so he can't read. So he has to rely on a Kindle for audiobooks. And obviously visiting times are limited, and he's in isolation, so he sort of can't see or hear anybody. So bored silly. You will if I do. Okay. We should do a joint announcement. I'll see what. Maybe this Sunday. If I get out of bed in time, I can maybe go onto Twitch. I'll message you, and let's see if we could do We'll do anybody here watching now. I've committed myself now, haven't I? Let's see if we can, and I shall probably put the link up and all that business. I'll have to dust it off. I'll probably said, forgotten password. Yeah. Yes, forgot my password. I shall have to redo all that. But yeah. Poopless. And yes. Meditation. I've read all about meditation, but never had the patience to try it. It's good news that it's getting better. Yeah, I mean, they were supposed to be here, but I mean, it's good that they actually didn't come here, because they would have travelled on a boat full of people and might have ended up being in quarantine in Zeebrugge, and on top of that, everything here is shut. So they would have been stuck inside with nothing to do, nowhere to go for a week. So luckily, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, really. You hate Twitch. Oh dear. So you won't be one of my audience over there. Making friends in the hospital. Well, you can only make friends in the hospital when you're not in isolation, unless you sort of become really pally with the nurse or something. And don't say furu furu to the nurse. Why does Dibble hate Twitch? It's full of kids. That's why, probably. I think one more Gaijin's wife, Arissa, she's on Twitch, League of Legends and all that business. I had a look once. It's all a bit, bit too not my cup of tea, not my gaming cup of tea. But she's quite popular on there. But it's getting to that time, folks. That time where I announce next week on the NoChaNoMa show, I'll have some bloody guests. With a bit of luck, I shall have to contact them, sort of my friends in Berlin, and hopefully they can join me on the show next week. And I shall have some music, and I shall shut up and let them play and interact with them and find out what they've been doing since they were last on the show. And then the week after that, God knows. But this is sort of me winding up. I'm winding you up. I'm winding up the audience in preparation for, oh dear, for going downstairs and having a coffee. Getting on with the rest of the day. But I hope you enjoyed this, me randomly waffling on without guests. I'm always amazed at myself that I can do this for an hour, almost without interruption. Stay safe. Yes, I shall try and stay safe and sanitized. It's the sanitized. Simon, no sanitized. Hello, who's that? Who's that? Who's doing that? Stop doing that. Where are you? Oh, it's over there. You want to see my guests all bloody. Okay. Silver Sea, Radri, Perk, Ellen, Dean, Robert, Dibble. Have I missed anybody? Hang on. Thank you for watching. All those watching after the event, who hopefully do watch after the event, because I generally get about 30 views. So that must mean somebody watches after the event. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. There should be an advert, and with a bit of luck, it'll be in the middle of the week instead of like last minute, like last night's was. So you'll have more time to sort of get excited. Radri, I'll contact you about Twitch tomorrow, if that's going ahead. And thank you for joining. And I have to find that button and switch off and not cut you off like Radri did this morning. Okay. See you, everybody. See you next week. End broadcast. Yes, I want to end the broadcast. I want a cup of coffee. Bye.